Hello everyone, Matheus Castello here, and today I want to go through the Gaia build system, or at least the getting started for Gaia build system with you guys. In summary, the Gaia build system is a new build system for Create Debian based Linux distribution that I'm working since 2024. But only now that I'm creating the courage to show or be more active showing this here on the channel, and then it's experimental stuff. It's something that I hope, or there is some design decisions that it's something that I would like to have in a build system. All right. Yes, and it's for create and reproduce Debian-based Linux distributions. But yeah, and one of the experiments that I'm doing is use AI agents to try to help the user to build or learn about the build system. So in this video, we will pass through the getting started. That is the README here for the Gaia core, the github.com Gaia build system /Gaia, all right? And then you act like a user that does not know nothing, or try to, using the Mimir, that is the AI agent here from the Gaia, to try to build something. So yeah, if you want to know more, stay with me. Okay, so let's go. So yeah, first let's create a sandbox here, right? Because the Gaia, you can build it on your host, but it's not really recommended, because as this is a Debian based, and also the build system is Debian based, or it expects some Debian packages to be present on the host. The recommended is to use a Debian host or a Debian container. So yeah, let's create these set up in this sandbox inside a container, a Debian container. So prerequisites, Linux or WSL, Git, Docker, and Docker Compose plugin. I already have these. I'm using I'm using my Mac Mini with ARM 64-bit processor, the Apple Silicon, right? And with a VM running Linux. It's a Ubuntu. I don't think that this is working. Yeah, my new fetch is not working, but I can go on it, see OS release. You can see that is Ubuntu 24.04. And yeah, I already created this temp sandbox folder here, so we can go ahead. I have Git. I have Docker, and also I have the Docker Compose. I think that is this way. Yes, I also have the Docker Compose plugin installed, and that is that we need. Okay, so make it there, work there, then you go to the work there, and then clone the Gaia core repository. I did it on this sandbox, so yeah, let's just clone the Gaia core here. Okay, done. And then you can run the initialization setup script that is on Gaia scripts init. You can see that I already had run it before, right? So it's on my memory here of my shell, but this is enough. This you initialize, yeah, this sandbox, the Docker container, the Debian Docker container, with everything that is needed to you start a build. Let's wait for the image setup and build. Okay, nice. So now we are inside the Docker container. It's Debian Trixie, and now we have everything that is needed to start a build, right? So next step is to initialize the Mimir, right? So that is the AI agent. So we will try to ask him to do the build for us. Let's say that I don't know nothing about the build system or the arguments that is needed or the boards that are supported. So yeah, let's just initialize the shot. Okay, so yeah, Mimir knows everything about Gaia, Bitcook. So Bitcook is the core, is the parser that gets the recipes and then generates the steps for build your distribution. DeimOS is the flat Debian based distribution, and Phobos is the torizon compatible Debian based distribution that Gaia build system is able to generate. There are some comments here, but they are not very well described by this screen, but then we can go to the command help and yeah, enable auto executive command, enable auto execution of the command. So it means that you the shot here, you behave like an agent, so you try to execute commands and go through errors and etc. This help, the history shows the history of the chat, clear the history, and also clear the LLM context, stop Mimir, current thinking command execution, and exit. Okay, so yeah, now that the experiment start, so yeah, let's just enable the auto execution of the commands because I want to use it. We are inside that sandbox, inside the container, so let's handle or let's delegate everything to the AI, and then let's ask him to I want to build DeimOS, the flat Debian based distribution for Raspberry Pi 5. Okay, so Mimir is thinking. So the question, you go through the LLM server, and then this you think and you check the repositories, and you go or you bring back a command to be executed here on the sandbox. Let me look at the repositories. Okay, I can see there is a cookbook Raspberry Pi. Interesting. So yeah, let's check. Oh, I can see that there is a distro have Raspberry Pi 5 JSON, so it's the configuration. No, let me check. So yeah, the TLLM has some tooling here. It's calling the Github MSP, right? And then using this tooling to check the repositories and what is needed. So you can see that it tried a command. So it's trying to, it's trying to call directly the Bitcook, correct. The build path, also correct. That is my sandbox. But the problem is that he tried to call the Raspberry Pi, the cookbook Raspberry Pi, and we don't have it yet, right? He find it on the GitHub organization. Oh, now he get it. So, well, looks like the cookbook Raspberry Pi repo is missing. It's not on your machine, okay? So the Raspberry Pi 5B distro file is nowhere to be found. So he was smart enough to check the GitHub repositories and from the Gaia system organization, and also check my work there, that's my sandbox, and then it getted that yes, there is no cookbook Raspberry Pi here, so we needed this cookbook that is another repo, so it cloned it for us under home Castello temp sandbox cookbook Raspberry Pi. Okay, nice. It stops when he succeeds a command, so now we will need to ask him to continue. Okay, so now we have, now we have the cookbook API. Let's build DeimOS for Raspberry Pi 5. Okay, so thinking. Great, let me first check the structure. Okay, the first command there was correct, so if he gets the command again, probably the build will be successful. So I can see both the repos have all the files we need. Now let me read the agent's MD. Okay, oh, this is important because on the Gaia core, okay, so there is the original command failed because distro needs a relative path. Yeah, so now you can see that the build is running. So he gets the issues. He cloned the Raspberry Pi repo, and then we ask him to continue. He gets the right distro argument. So now we have all the bitcook command, correct? Build the path, that's our sandbox hood or workdir hood folder. The distro configuration or the distro manifest, let's say, that is the JSON file that describes for bitcook which recipes are being introduced on that distro, the name of that distro, for example, how much storage is the maximum that you can use for create this distro. No cache. No cache means that this will be a clean build. No cache will be used for the kernel builds or the native builds, etc. Also, the disk will be created from scratch. And the last but not least, install host deps arguments that is needed inside a sandbox or inside a Debian container, because this will install all the host dependencies that is needed. For example, as this is a Debian based distribution that uses Debian to also parse and build the distribution, it installs or expects to install some dependencies that are Debian packages, right? So this last argument install it automatically. Let's say that you are not in a Debian host, you or not in your sandbox, you still can use the Gaia or the bitcook, but not mess up with your environment, right? But on the sandbox, this argument is more than useful. Okay, so now the build is being done, and at the end we expect to have DeimOS image for the Raspberry Pi 5B done. So let's wait a bit. Okay, so done. You can see that there is a success. So the distro was built with success. But yeah, I'm right now happy with the outcome or the results of this experiment, because I'm being pretty honest with you. I had done some tests, but on my work there I already had all the repositories for all the other machines. So this was the first time that I tried it from scratch, and I was happy that he was able to find the repository that was missing and then cloned it, and then we asked him to continue, and then Mimir gets the right command and build it successfully. But remembering that, yeah, let's continue the experiment. I am a noob on Gaia build system. I see here that it's success, but I don't know where the final image was stored. So let's ask where is the image, is the final image build stored. Let's see. So it tried build RPI 5B folder, but yeah, it was wrong. This is not the folder that Gaia generates. So now it's thinking again. So yeah, he inferred now that the build was not run successfully, but yeah, the build was run successfully. It's not the it's just the folder that is not the right one. So yeah, I will to free some time from us. I will stop, okay, and then you ask no, the build was successful. Is check on the code where the final image is stored. Okay, so let's check if now with some more context, like, oh, check not only the logs but check also the source code of the parser. Yeah, so let me look at the actual build script. This is good. Okay, so it find out on the code the environment variables that are used, but inside the parser. So, and then it finally get that it did not get nothing. So there is some effort set on the AI agent to not be trying infinity tasks or a long time. So yeah, after I think 20 tries on the tooling, this gets the default answer that, okay, there is a few gaps in my knowledge. I don't have the answer to your question. Okay, let's try out here. Okay, the cookbook Raspberry Pi is there too. But you can see that there is also this build DeimOS reference. So is there that the image, oops, yeah, first the build, the temp, and then the machine, and then we have the folder that's called deploy. So yeah, so let's look. Yeah, tvm Linux is there, and also the final image is also there. Okay, yeah, there is some things that needs some improvement, right? For example, you can see on the context that he only getted still the first folder when we started Mimir, right? Only the Gaia core repository. He downloaded or cloned the cookbook Raspberry Pi. And there was also the new build folder that if we had it on the context, he will get the right answer for us. But yeah, this was not being updated, so there is some things that need some improvements. But yeah, overall I kind of like it, the outcomes, the results. Yeah, he was able to go through some issues and then generate the final image for us. Let's at the end here try this image on the actual hardware to see if the build was really successful. Okay, so now I have the Raspberry Pi here. I go to the Mac to then flash an SD card. So let's boot the system that we built. Okay, so let's use the Raspberry Pi imager. Okay, Raspberry Pi 5. We will use a custom image. It's here on my user. I have compiled it from Lima VM, the virtual machine, to my user folder. Next, generic mass storage. Okay, right. Writing, so yeah, let's wait. Yeah, so to only make sure that you guys believe me, I get the file directly from the Lima. That is the VM that I'm using here on the Mac. So yeah, the image is actually the image that we built during this session, right? So I just put it here on my user folder. So yeah, this is the image that we are flashing right now. Okay, so finished it. We can now then get the SD card and boot or image. So yeah, let's see what happens. So yeah, here the SD card. Let's put it there. Let me change the channel of the HDMI here to this. Okay, should be nothing there. But yeah, let's turn on. Let's put energy there. Okay. Booting. Nice. So we have the boot splash screen, the Gaia. This is promising. And the DeimOS splash screen. So yeah, the image works. All right. Yeah. It's only this. So it's pretty small there, but yeah. There is a DeimOS reference and asking for the login. So yeah, the image. Let me get a keyboard. Let's at least do a login here now. The boot worked. The device booted. So yeah, it's officially the first boot or the first image generated by AI from the Gaia build system. So and I'm recording, so this is pretty nice. Yeah, we are in. Oh, we don't have. Oh, we have fast fetch. Okay, yeah, there is DeimOS reference. Distro-arc. But okay, I'm back to inside the build container image from Gaia, because there is another feature for or from the Mimir AI agent, because I had shown the Mimir app. Oops. That is the terminal application, blah blah blah. But also there is the Mimir CLI. So the Mimir CLI receives natural language intent to run a task. So for example, this could be useful, for example, if you want to use Mimir in a CI/CD environment, for example. Let's say build, let's try some build DeimOS for the QEMU 686, but only to check the environment. Do not run the full build. Yeah, let's check. So then this you get all these arguments. You don't need to pass codes, nothing. This you get all the arguments as a natural language question. You send to the LLM server. Yeah, thinking. Let me start by exploring the Gaia build system. Let me read the key files from the repo. Let me check the build folder. Now I have a very clear picture. Okay, so there is, yeah, so he gets the right argument. There is an argument that's called verbose. That's the argument that just print the parsing of the Bitcook core and just jump out of the process. But yeah, it tried a wrong path for the distro JSON file, and now it's thinking on how to fix it, and yeah, it's fixed it. So yeah, I'm showing this example because this was the I think almost the same question that I did. You can see that at the first try he was trying to send the distro file as relative to the sandbox folder, but this file is inside the Gaia repo. So on the second try, the AI agent figured out. Yeah, so now it's sending the relative path to the Gaia repository, and then it gets all the data parsed from all the cookbook recipes that needed to be parsed for this DeimOS QEMU x86 distro. Okay, so yeah, let me show here for you guys, because yeah, here I did an example on Gaia build system Mimir init. So here I have GitHub actions that I call it the sanity check, but yeah, it's a proof of concept of the use of the Mimir CLI as an AI agent for run GitHub actions. Then it does some initialization. It's running the same image that we are running from our sandbox. Then getting the clone of the core, initializing the core, installing the deno that is needed for run to Mimir, and then running more or less the same. Yeah, I think that was the same questioning, the same intent that I sent. So I call it the Mimir CLI, build DeimOS for QEMU x86, but only for check the env. Do not run the full build. I think that I write it environment. I don't recall what was the yeah, but only to check the environment. Yeah, it was a bit different, right? But yeah, the intent was the same. I want to run the build command with the QEMU x86, but with the verbose augmented, and this did what I wanted to. And here too, if I go on the actions, you can see that the last successful action was exactly the same behavior. Yeah, this one. So here we have the call of the tool and the question, the intent, and then the thinking. And you can see that the same error, the inference did the same error here. It getted the QEMU x86 distro JSON file out of the Gaia repo, and then he figured out the right, the file we are looking for is inside the Gaia repo, yes, and then it passed the relative to the Gaia repo with the verbose, and then generated here all the data, the JSON data for the parsed data that the Bitcook core getted from all the recipes, and this is all the data that at the end will generate or image for QEMU 686. So yeah, so it's a proof of concept that it's possible to use AI agents to spin or check the issues on, or run tasks on GitHub Actions. Yeah, very cool. So guys, for this video, that's it. I really hope that you guys liked this getting started and first video about Gaia build system and the Mimir AI agent for the Gaia build system. All these are experiments. Let's see if this will be useful, or if you guys think that this will be useful. This is open source, only TLLM server, and that is not open sourced because there is some secrets there for my model keys, but everything else, the client is here on the Gaia repo, and then you can check. And I will do more videos about, for example, the framework that is very cool, the Melker, that is the framework that I use it to create the terminal application. You can use tags like HTML, and it's pretty cool. But I think that for this video it was already long enough. So thank you to watch, and see you on the next video.